Okay, good evening everyone. Please confirm you can hear me audibly. Okay, thank you. Good evening once again. I want to welcome everyone to our last live session for this bootcamp. I also want to apologize for the adjourning we had to do yesterday. Yesterday was supposed to be, yeah, we were supposed to have this session yesterday, but due to my unavailability, we couldn't. I was on the road almost throughout yesterday, and it wouldn't have been convenient me taking the session while in the bus or something. So apologies for that. So I'll just get straight into it because we don't have time. So just a quick recap. This is the fourth session, which means that we've had three sessions. Um, it's also expected that uh, at least everyone should have been following the sessions and the lessons so far. I know, yes, there was supposed to be a lesson that should have been dropped on Friday, but has not been dropped. Apologies for that. Immediately after this session, I'm going to drop the recording of the last session. That was Friday session, and this session, just for the benefit of those who, for one reason or the other, cannot join or were not in the last session. So, and then I also try to drop the lessons. So, we've had four lessons. We have six more lessons to go. One is going to drop tonight. The other five we'll split it across this week. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So by Friday, um, we should have had 10 lessons, and at that point we should be qualified to take the assessment. So there's going to be an assessment. It's not a big deal. It's just to really follow up and ensure that you have actually been taking your lessons. So maybe we could leave 1 day or 2 days just for people who, for one reason or the other, cannot keep up with the schedule. So maybe we could leave that. But if you can take your lesson all at once, it's fine. I mean, they are not long. I'm just doing it like that because I know that many of us have other engagements. So after you've taken all the lessons, if you missed a session, you've gone over it to take the session again. You could take the assessment and submit. Once you submit your assessment, it's going to be reviewed, and the week after, which is next week, we are going to send certificates over to people who have completed the process. So the only reason why you will not be eligible to get a certificate after you have participated in bootcamp is if you did not meet expectation. What is the expectation? Attend the live sessions. If you miss a session, just watch the session at your own convenience. When you watch this, if you miss a session, you need a proof that you watched the session. And the proof that you watched the session is that just drop a comment at the end of the of your watching. Just put a comment there. That's your proof. But if you attended this session, you don't need any proof. At least we can see you on the session. So that's for the live sessions. For the lessons, once you take the lesson, you can mark it as completed on your uh, on the lessons interface. There's a mark as completed that you can do there. So when you mark as completed, it means you have completed the lesson. However, if you have a question, you could put it directly under the comment of the video that you just watched. Otherwise, if your question is not related to the video, maybe your question is related to something else, you could drop it in the community and it will be attended to. So that's pretty much how everything is supposed to run. So how do you get your certificate? It's not a problem. Once it is sent, you will receive a mail that okay, you have been given a certificate. If you do not have an account with, okay, if you have an account with us, which means that you are which I believe everybody should, because how are you taking your lessons if you don't have an account? So you are also going to see your certificates under your profile. If you go to your profile, you should see something like my certificates. It's like a sub tab. So if you go to my certificates, any certificate that has been awarded to you, that's where you can see it. And then when you see it there, you can download your certificate from there as a PDF, and to download to your phone or your laptop, wherever you are downloading it from. And then you could also verify your certificates to know whether, not just you, anybody can actually verify your certificates, because every certificate has an ID. So you could take the ID, put it on our platform. There is a place where you can verify. I don't know if I should show you guys on this call. I don't know if it is important. So there's a place to verify. Once you click on verify, maybe I should just show it so that you can see what I am saying. Please confirm you can hear me and you can see my screen. Just a reaction is okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank, thank you very much. So, because this will be our last call, so I think it's important I just show you how to navigate and find your way through the application. So I'll just go to ParleAfrica.com. All right, so I'm signed in. So all I need to do is to go to my profile. How do I get my profile? I just click on my. If you're on your phone, um, there's also, you will see a three hamburger icon, like a three dash. Click on it, you will see your profile underneath at the bottom. Just click on it, it takes you to your profile. So on your profile, you can see profile, my posts, friends, certificates. So if you go to certificates, you should see all the certificates that has been awarded to you. So how would you know? I said earlier, you will get a mail immediately a certificate is awarded to you. You get a mail that okay, you have been given a certificate by ParleAfrica. So you can either download it from the mail sent, or you can come back to your profile and see it. So if I click on view certificates, to take me to a place where I can view. So this is your certificates. So you can choose to download it by clicking on this download, and you can also verify your certificate. So if you click on verify, it brings you here, and then this is the verify page where you can verify anybody's certificate. So whether it's you that is verifying, or maybe anybody, maybe a company wants to verify whether your certificate is genuine or not. So they can come here, put the ID and click on verify. It will show whether it's verified or not. It will show you the name of the person that actually has the certificate, the course that was taken, the type, the issuer who issued it, the date it was issued, and the certificate ID. And if it is invalid, it will also tell you that it does not exist. So that's pretty much that. I think that's that about certificates. Let me get back to what I was saying. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the call window. Okay. So that's that about the certificates and all. Does anybody have any question at this point before I continue? You could just raise your hand or something. Okay. Please go ahead, Oyin Consola.
All right. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, please.
I've been talking about a video after taking lessons, but I haven't seen any videos that you have been saying because I've been taking lessons, but I don't see any videos. Maybe I'm going to the wrong place or something.
Okay. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. So to take a lesson, all you need to do is to go to lessons. So when you get to lessons, you should see these are lessons. Currently there are 4 lessons. As I said, we'll upload more this night. So if I want to take this first one, I click on start lesson. It should take me to the lessons page. So whether you're on your phone or your laptop, it should look the same. So this is the lesson. This is the written transcript of the lesson. This is the video you could take. So if I could click on this.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the ParleAfrica channel.
And you could even just go to YouTube straight up from here. So it's the same thing whether
Hi
you take it from,
everyone, and
if you go to
welcome
our
back to the
YouTube channel,
ParleAfrica
sorry,
channel.
if you go to our YouTube channel and you search for that topic, you will see it there, and you could also just come to the lessons to take it from here. So when you are done, if you have a question, drop it under this comment here. That's what I mean. Please confirm you saw what I just showed and you understand.
Yes, but it doesn't show any video. I know I'll text you and show you my interface.
Yeah.
Like it just brings the transcripts, like you said. Like if I should like click on lesson, it doesn't bring any video or anything. It's just the transcript, like the transcript. I see all the like the questions and all those things, but then when it's done, you click on one place that I have completed, but there's no video. I'll show you like a screenshot of my app or my page.
Okay, that would be appreciated. That's strange, but once you show me, at least we can fix whatever is wrong. But if there is any other person that is having the same challenge, could you signify or something? If okay, if you don't have the challenge, it's working as expected, as I explained, could you react or signify? Let's know whether it's a general problem. Okay, so for the rest of you, it's working perfectly. So Onikosola, please, we can sync after this call. So you can just send a screenshot or something, and then we'll fix out whatever is happening. All right, so not let's not waste a lot of time. So I have a short presentation before we proceed. So I'll just get straight into the presentation. All right. So I know we've talked about the French language, at least things that you need to know. We've talked about the French culture as a strong uh, foundation for the language, because I said in one of our past sessions that language is built on culture. And then we've also talked about I think our last session seems to be the longest, and should I call it the most detailed, because we examine French and English structures, the differences, uh, key differences you have to take notes, some rules you have to understand, which forms the rudiment of the French language, and it will really help you to build mental models when as you start learning your vocabulary and all. So all you are trying to do is to provide a solution for a problem that might not even exist, other than fixing a problem that is already in existence. So usually I feel like the best way to learn is by actually learning the building blocks, foundations. Don't even make the mistake before correcting it. So they used to say prevention is better than cure. That's exactly what that session is supposed to do. How many of you were in the last session, the third session, which was Friday's session? Can you just signify one person? Okay. Sorry, I have not dropped the recording. I will drop it immediately after this call. Okay, thank you. So for the others that were not there, I will drop the recording tonight. Apologies for that. I have been so occupied. That was the reason why I haven't dropped it. But don't worry, this night you can count on it. I'll drop it. So today I want to talk about how to practice French every day, even when you are busy. Please, if you cannot hear me at any point, okay, someone sent a message. How do we confirm to you that we have watched it? If you watched it, just drop a comment. That's all. Just drop a comment when you are done watching. That solves it. Thank you. All right. So if you cannot hear me at any point, or you can't see my screen again, or anything, just feel free to unmute and just stop me, because if you raise your hand, I won't see it. So, your question, you said no, not on the group. The video will be uploaded on YouTube, right? I'll drop the link on the page that this is the link for the session 3. So when you are done watching the video on YouTube, just drop a comment under the video you just watched. Do you understand? All right, thank you. So I titled this "How to Practice French Every Day." even when you are busy, because um the nobody would miss practice if they are free. I want to believe so. At least before you said you want to pick up a language, it means you really, really want it. So the issue is mostly because of other engagements. Maybe you commit yourself to, okay, I'll be practicing so time, so minutes, so hours every day. And then for one reason or the other, something comes up today, you skip it tomorrow. Before you know it, the enthusiasm is gone and you are back to where you began. So and as I said, I believe that the number one reason people don't improve at French, let me go to the next slide, is not maybe because maybe they are not talented, or the language is not for them, or maybe they don't have enough resources or time. I don't believe that is it. I believe that the number one reason why people don't improve in this is not just for French language. I mean, in any language at all. In fact, not this even goes beyond learning languages. Anything at all, whether career, academics. Number one reason people don't improve as much or improve at all is inconsistency. A lot of people are not consistent, and consistency is one of the most difficult things to do with in life. That's one thing I believe. It takes a lot of discipline and self-control to be consistent, because you have to keep doing the same things over and over and over and over again, even when you don't feel like it, even when you are not feeling too well. You have to keep up, and that's very difficult. So I mean, I remember when I for me now personally, when I started learning French, I was very excited about the language, and at least for like my first week, it was very intense. I was studying, I was feeling good about the progress I'm making. Then before you know it, life starts to get busy, and then I disappear. I think it's not like I will disappear all of a sudden. So usually maybe for 30 minutes every day, I can skip my maybe a day's lesson. I was okay, I'll make it up the next day. Sometimes I could try to, and maybe I'll skip 2 days again. Then at some point, because I have skipped 2 3 days, to pick it up will be feeling very overwhelming, that the fact that I have skipped. And before you know it, the week is gone, and then I disappear for a whole month. And then after a while, I'll feel like, oh my, why did I drop this French thing? Let me come back. And then I'll come back, and half of what I have learned already has faded away, and I'll restart. Then the cycle repeats itself, and that continues. And after a whole year, you'll be wondering why you are still at the same level you were at the beginning. So one thing is that language learning is not exactly the same way I mean, there's this thing people do for exams. If you're a student, I did it when I was a student. You do la cram la pour for exams. You come out, and if you're a very good crammer, you cram one night or 2 nights to your exam, come and pour it down. You can binge it, I mean, that's fine. That's exam. Because exam is not like most of the times after you do la cram la pour, it's not like after the exam you will need the information again. In fact, for me, when I cram, I, maybe the max is a week. I can't remember anything again. But language is not like that. So the brain usually will acquire language through repeated and spaced exposure, and that takes time. It's not something you can just do like a marathon. I feel like it's more of consistent learning. You have to do it every day. In fact, it's better to do 20 minutes every day, for example, than doing maybe 3 hours in the weekend. It's better to even do 10 minutes every day than doing 2 hours in the weekend, because that everyday thing is what your brain relies on. So I'm not saying that for people who neglect their language learning goals, some of them can have legitimate reason, maybe work or family or different responsibilities here and there. But if you are really, really passionate about making good progress, you have to find a way to be consistent. And trust me, your method might not exactly what works for you might not work for me. So, but one thing has to cut across: consistency is key. Everybody has to be consistent, irrespective of the patterns and the methods you have chosen to follow. So here are some things I have put together to just ensure that can make learning easier, and it could actually accelerate your goals and enable you to reach your destination faster. The first thing I did when I took my language learning seriously, I mean, I've been learning for a long time before I started taking it seriously, right? But the first thing I did when I started taking it seriously was that I switched my phone language from English to French. Now, this might look like maybe it's not really that deep, but trust me, it changes a whole lot. In fact, your first week of doing it, you you will be frustrated because you will see a lot of words that you don't know. Uh, you will probably have to be checking the translator app for some. In fact, a notification can pop up on your screen and you don't even know what to press, whether you should press no or yes. You have to go and try and find out what that thing means before you go and press the wrong thing. But it's mostly for like a week. After like a week, I'm not saying you will not start to understand everything your phone, maybe a pop up on your phone or what everything means, but at least it becomes easier to navigate. So this will cost you nothing, it costs you no money. It's the easiest change you can make today. Just go to your phone settings, switch the language to French, all your notifications, every menu, every app label, everything will change to French. So what this will do is that, I mean, people use their phones more than they use any other thing. That's what I believe. Everybody, in fact, people on the road, they are pressing their phone. That's really how much people use their phones. So each time you are reading French, you pick up your phone, you want to go to settings, it's French. You want to search for something, it's French. You missed a call, it's French. So it's it helps you to like, it will burn those words you are constantly seeing again and again and again and again into your memory, even without you doing like a conscious memorization or something. So I said it will be confusing at first, but that confusion will only last for like a week or two, and then you'll be able to navigate your phone in French without even thinking about it. And that's what internalization feels like. So that's one. Another thing that I want to talk about is how you can turn your commute into French immersion, into a French classroom. That's what I would call it. I mean, people who have free time, for example, you go out. For if you are working, you go to work, you return. Those times you could, I mean, most of the time maybe you are not doing anything or you are just thinking about your life or whatsoever. You could turn those times into, you know, instead of them just going to waste, you could turn them into French immersion time. You could use those times to listen to a podcast or music or even read all these audiobooks. Or you could even use YouTube. If you could watch a YouTube content, maybe a YouTube video. Me, mostly, what I do mostly is that hardly will you even see me. If I am walking on the road, I'm always plugged in because I feel like I don't have any free time. So those times is that I'm listening to a music, or I'm listening to something. I'm always listening to something. So usually that helps me a lot. I might not have time to listen to music naturally, but I mean I could use those times where I'm just maybe going to work or coming back, or I'm in the bus. Instead of listening to what people are saying, I just plug my earphones. I'm listening to the music. I'm listening to a podcast. So and there are a lot of options that you can have. You just have to really find the one that suits you, the one that you like, right? If on Spotify, if you just go there, search French beginner podcast, you see lot of a lot of options. Music, depending on the kind of music that you like also. Personally, I don't like Afro French music. This is why I have my own reason, right? You could like them, but me personally, I don't. The reason why I don't like Afro French music is because I feel like, because African French is not pure in the sense that they mix a lot of slangs that are not French related. Some of them are their ethnic or tribal slangs. So because of that, I feel like I would like it more if I find something that is a bit purer. Maybe listen to maybe Parisians or people major French that are not Africans. I feel like those ones they have a purer French than listening to. For example, if you listen to there's this guy I like. Even sang a song with Whiskey one time like that. His name is Fali Ipupa. He's Congolese. I like his style of music, right? But the only thing I don't like about listening to him is that he uses a lot of Congolese slangs. Should I call them slangs? So when you are listening to his music, you're not just hearing French, you're also hearing some other input here and there. So, but I mean, you could like that, you could want it. It doesn't really matter. It's more French than whatsoever slang is adding. I'm just telling you what me I like. Do you understand? So you could find your favorites and then tune in. I remember when there's this guy I like a lot. His name is Trome. I like him a lot, and I listen to a lot of his songs. I listen to a couple of other guys too, but there's this other girl. Her name is Louane. She's also very good. I like her style of music. They all sing French, so it's not about their French, it's about the music. So I feel like if you listen to what you like, it won't bore you. It won't feel like you are doing a chore because you like it, right? I think that's even the difference between when you learn French formally, maybe in class, or even our education system generally, where you are just forced to do something that you are not really interested in. At the end of the day, it just bores you. But if it's something that you like, you find interesting, it will feel less like you are doing a chore. So as I said, look for podcasts. I can give you a few options. There's from Say Authentique by Johan. On You can look for it on Spotify. You find it. It's very excellent for intermediate learners. But if you're a very beginner, if you're a beginner like beginner, you can listen to Coffee Break French. It's very good for. It's very great for beginners. On you find all these podcasts on Spotify. At least I use Spotify. That's what I'm telling you. You could also find them on other platforms, but I use Spotify a lot, and that's why I'm recommending Spotify. So as I said, you can turn your commute time into immersion, into French classrooms. That 5-10 minutes will actually go a long way. And as you find more content interesting, nobody will need to remind you because you find them interesting. All right. So that's about that. Let me move to the next thing. Another very cogent thing that you can do to accelerate your learning is to label your environment. Now, if you're in your house is filled with a lot of objects that you interact with on a daily basis. For example, there's table, there's chair, there's bath in your bathroom. You have several things. You have your charger. You have in the kitchen. You have You have pots. You have spoon. You have different things. Your wardrobe, like different things. So you could use sticky notes, right? I used to do that a lot back then. So I just buy a pack of sticky notes, label everything in your house, label the door, la porte, label the window, la fenêtre, label everything you can label. So it just takes about 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, for you to really get familiarized with those words, such that even without the label, you know what they mean. Now, what really motivated me to do that was I remember when I was younger, there is this. Anytime I'm going home, there's this street we used to pass back then, me and my friends. There is a writing on a wall, and the writing is quite long, like very long. And I remember that anytime we just pass, as kids, we just play a lot. So we usually just read. We not like we are trying to memorize it. We just read it for fun. We read it because we found it funny. We read it, and over time I just realized that I could actually recite that writing, not because I have never at any point tried to memorize it, but the fact that I mean I've been seeing it over and over and over and over again. The thing just stuck in my head, and that's what can happen when you label your environment. Before you know it, you already know the French word for almost every object in your house, and you don't need to make a conscious effort to memorize or to cram or to try to know the name. Just by seeing it when you go out and when you come inside, it sticks in your head. So I mean you could also take it further. Maybe if you have a working space, you could label things at your workplace too. Your desk, your chair, your computer, label everything. The more touch points you create, the faster the vocabulary will embed in your head. So, okay, please confirm you can still hear me and I'm not talking to myself. Thank you. All right, so let me move to the next thing. This one too is very, very important. I feel if you do it 5 to 10 minutes every day, it will make a whole lot of difference. Think out loud in French. I do this a lot. I've tried to reduce it when I am not indoor because I mean people could think maybe something's wrong with you if you're on the road and your mouth is moving. But this is a practice that can really, really help you, right? So it's very, very powerful, and a lot of people even underestimate how fast it could help you. You could just pick a fixed time every day. Maybe it could be maybe your shower time or your morning routine, or maybe you are cooking dinner or your lunch break. Anytime at all that you feel like picking. All you can do or all you need to do is probably just to narrate what you are doing in French and say it out. Don't say it to your heart. Say it out loud. Or well, if you are in public, you will say it in your head, right? Just try to narrate. Oh, I got up, maybe I woke up 6 a.m. this morning. Currently, I'm washing my clothes. Oh, I'm cooking. Just try to, oh, I'm brushing my teeth. Just try to think out loud in French. Don't put any English, just try to say it in French. Now, it does not have to be grammatically perfect, right? The goal, what you are trying to do is just to activate the language in your brain. You are trying to force out, I mean, there's already a passive storage, right? You've been learning vocabularies, you've been knowing words, right? Now you are trying to put them into active use. So when you eat a word you don't know, you can note it down, maybe just note it in your head or write it somewhere, and then you look it up later. And you notice that at every point you need to speak, there is always a word you are looking for that is not there. All you need to do is that in your immediate, I mean, the next lesson time you need to take, you look up those words, and that's how you can make progress. So those gaps you identified, you fill them up almost immediately. So you could start with 5 minutes every day, just do it, and then gradually you could build that up maybe to 10 minutes, and as much time you could accommodate. So that will be that for that. Let me move to the next thing. The next thing is this one is quite good. I feel it is good. One of the reasons why we created our community feed. Now, learning French alone is quite difficult, and that's not just to French, that's to any language at all. Learning with peers, learning with other people is much easier than learning alone. Because what happens when you get stuck? Or for example, you are learning a grammar rule, or you are learning, let's say, conjugation, and for some reason something is just clear. Why is this like this and not like this? And then you are trying to figure it all out on your own, but it's not just making sense. I mean, what if you have a group of people, you don't have to know them personally, that you could just ask, or maybe you have a question, you throw it open, and somebody just responds to you. I mean, that solves a lot of challenge. I mean, that's outside the accountability groups that you can have, where you have close, could I call them peers or associates that you are learning together. Guys could set goals together. You could say, okay, let's do this. Let's do this today. Let's do this tomorrow. Let's do this by this week. By the end of this week, we should have accomplished this. And you guys follow up on each other. You help yourself one way or the other. I'm not even talking about that accountability groups. I'm talking about the community at large, where you could share daily updates about what you are learning. You could get inspired, get motivated, and also motivate somebody else. You could ask a real question, and anybody, literally anybody, could give you an answer. So that's what the community is for. And I would say beyond this bootcamp, you could actually leverage on the community to actually accelerate your learning. You could, don't be afraid of maybe writing in French, or maybe you are feeling maybe this is not correct French. That's actually how you can get better. For example, for if you are learning English and you don't want to speak, you don't want to speak it, you can't get better. You have to speak it, make mistakes, someone corrects you, and that's really how. In fact, the correction does not have to be sweet. Like, the people you say that, hey, let it be constructive, let it be constructive. The correction does not have to. I'm not saying you should not correct people constructively. I'm only saying that correction is correction. For example, there are some words I can never forget today in my head, just because how I was corrected did not sit well with me. And for some reason I can't forget. I mean, I pronounced something and someone told me, no, that's not how it is pronounced. and it was public, and I felt very embarrassed, and I went to check it, and I found out that it was correct. That word, I can't forget it. So my point is, when you make use of the language, you get feedback, like real time feedback. It helps you to improve rather than just uh, learning on your own, and everything you are doing is just solo. So leverage on the ParleAfrica community. That's exactly what I am saying. Thank you. Next slide, please. Watch one French video daily. Now, this is something that needs a lot of discipline to keep up with, particularly if you are, even if you are a student. I feel like, although I personally feel if you are a student, you have a lot of time. I know students will not agree with me, but maybe you eventually figure out that you're actually very free as a student. So when you are saying you are busy, I'm busy, when you graduate, you understand that I'm busy is very very relative. So, but what I'm saying is, try to keep up with your schedule. The video does not have to be 10, 15, 20 minutes. It could just be a 5 minute short or 10 minutes. Just try to ensure that you keep up with it every day. If you're on your bed and you remember that, oh, I have not done this today, just pick your phone, go to YouTube if it's YouTube you use. For me now, I use TikTok. TikTok has a lot of content. It all depends on how your FYP has been structured. Me now, there's one of my TikTok accounts that, on that account, the only thing that if out of, let's say, 20 reels that pops up, I can tell you that 15 is about the French language. I don't know, maybe because that's really what I consume on that account. Maybe that's why it happens like that. And then I fall in love with that. So I just go. Maybe if I want to sleep, I can just take my phone, just watch 10 minutes TikTok. I just take from one reel to the other. Before you know it, I've learned one or two things that I never knew before, and that's really how it works. So if you could say, okay, I want to watch one French video every day, you could even subscribe to maybe some channels that you know, okay, this is what they do. They post shorts like this, like this, like this. Just take it 5-10 minutes every day. Just try to catch up and not miss one. So, and another thing I want to say is that do not use English subtitles. I mean, it could be very, very like, oh, let me just use, maybe they're already speaking French. Let me put English so that I can understand what they are saying. Uh, Try to put French subtitles. If you put French subtitles, what it does is that it helps you to convert the audio immersion into native reading practice. Sorry. If you put English subtitles, what it will do is that it will convert the audio immersion into native reading practice. So it will just feel like you are reading and you're trying to understand at the same time. So it's more like you are watching a movie, you don't understand what they are saying, you rely on it, you fall back to the subtitles. But when you put French subtitles, you will not exactly understand word for word everything, but by context you would be able to follow, and it just keeps getting better the more you do it. Your first day will be definitely uh worse or less better than the second, and it keeps improving from that. So what it will help you mostly with is pronunciation. It will help you with, it might not really help you with the meaning of words, which that's something you have to work on deliberately outside of the videos you are watching. But it will help you with pronunciation. It will train your ears to be able to catch words. So, oh, when you hear, I've heard this word before, even if you don't even know what it means at that moment. So, another thing I should talk about is I don't procrastinate. This is what I mean. I see a word, a French word I don't know. Instead of saying I will look it up later, I just pick my phone if I can immediately and look up that word. I feel like if you do that a lot, before you know it, you are making a lot of progress that is not based on routine. Oh, I heard someone said something, or maybe an English word. I just said an English word, and I figured out, oh, I don't even know the French meaning of this English word. I look it up immediately. If I cannot look it up immediately, maybe my phone is not with me. If I have a writing material, I can write it in a book. Once I get home or I have access to my phone, I look the word up, and I just look it up. It's there. Usually, for me, in my experience, when I look up a word, a new word that I don't know before, it doesn't stick in my head. But I look it up, I see the meaning, I look at what word it is, how it is pronounced, all those things. I look it up. the next time I see that word, I might not remember the meaning, but one thing is sure, I will know that I have seen this word before. So what I will do is that I will look it up again. There is a high chance, or let me say there's a higher chance that that word will stick. If it does not stick again, the next time I see it, I will try to remember that word because I know I have seen this word before and I should know what it means. And then I'll just pick my phone, look it up the third time, and believe me, I don't think it will pass that third time before it sticks. Now, people have different levels. I mean, yours can be maybe the first time you don't forget again. I mean, it does not really matter. What matters is that you are making efforts and the efforts are really, really um, contributing to your improvements. So the next one is keep a daily French journal. This one is very, very, very important. In my experience, when I started learning French, I don't like writing personally. So maybe that actually affected or contributed to why I did not have a French journal. So I just like consuming things. I rather just watch a video than transcribe it into a note or something or jot things. I don't really like writing. But eventually I figured out okay, to make a lot of progress, you need to keep a daily French journal. Because there are times why that a word could just come back to me and then I'm looking for the meaning in my head. I can't find it. I did not write it down. I mean, if I had written it down, I could just pick my book, check it again, and that's it. So you could make a commitment. Before I sleep every night, I'll write 3 to 5 sentences. Note I did not say words. If you ask me words or sentences, I would say sentences. Uh, that I have a reason for that, but I mean, if it's words you can do phrases, that's fine. But I would recommend doing sentences. Maybe how your day went, an experience you had. Just keep pen it down, and in fact, you could even take it a step further by saying, I'm not going to use a dictionary. I'm not going to use a translator. I'm just going to write out how my day went by using only the French that I know. That means that now one thing that one is doing for you is that you are trying to enhance your problem solving skills in the sense that I want to write something. I have limited French words to express my thoughts. Now, is there a way I can walk around what I know, just the vocabulary I know, to still communicate what I have to communicate? Which means sometimes you might need to change the words. For example, let me give you an example of what I'm saying. I want to say that um let's say I want to say something happened today. And I know something in French is quelque chose. Happened. Let's assume I don't know what happened. I don't know the word for happened in French. Today, I know today. Today is aujourd'hui. Now, but I want to write something happened today. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what the French word for happened in. I don't know it. Now, what I can do is I'm not permitted to check my translator. How can I still have to communicate that. So what I can do is that okay, how else can I say happen without actually using the word happen? And then I just think around it, just trying to force communication with the French words that I already know. So I could say something like something came to pass today. Now that might look more maybe complicated or complex, but if I say it, I have passed the exact message I was trying to pass by finding a workaround. Okay, I know what I can, at least I can try to say come to pass. I can put that one together and I can communicate. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. That might not be a perfect example, but I hope really that's at least that should communicate what I'm trying to say to you. Please confirm you can still hear me. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So the next thing I want to say is I want to talk about is the 10 minutes rule. I think I've talked about this, but maybe the part that I did not talk about is on your low energy days. Are you going to have low energy days? In fact, I think over time you would have a lot of low energy days when you compare them with high energy days. Because I feel like the only times I do have a high energy day is maybe something spectacular happened. Maybe someone sends me more money that I was not expecting, which doesn't really happen. But a lot of times I'm exhausted. I came back from work, I'm tired. So keeping up with my commitments is the least of things I want to do, right? So, but you could just say, okay, in days that maybe let's say I practice 30 minutes every day, that's my routine. On days that you feel very tired, you don't have any motivation, why not just say, okay, instead of not doing anything, let me just do 5 to 10 minutes today, just to keep up with my religion. I must, I must ensure to just do this, and then what you are doing is that it's not just about the fact that, oh, I practiced. It's about the fact that you kept up with your commitments. So over time you are not building a habit that accommodates laziness or that accommodates giving excuses. You are building a habit that gets the job done in spite and despite of whatsoever it is you are passing through. And before you know it, 10 minutes daily has compounded into 60 hours of practice in a year. I mean, that's a lot. But I mean, because it is, I mean, 10 minutes is very negligible when you compare it with 60 hours, right? But when it compounds, it's actually a whole lot. So let me leave you with that. I came up with this small quote. This is not my brainchild. I mean, it's a very popular saying in the language ecosystem. But I mean, I just tweaked it. The learners who become fluent are not the most talented, they are the most consistent. So consistency will always beat talent, even if there's anything like being talented when it comes to language. Consistency will always beat it. I don't feel that there's, yeah, people could be smart or smarter than others. That's not disputable. But consistency is really what makes you, what gives you that progress that you want. So I hope, let me just bring my TED talk, if I can consider it one, to a close. Our time is fast spent. So that's the end of my presentation. I want to believe you learned one or two from everything I have said. So if you have any question, this is the time to ask. We have about 8 more minutes, and there's a couple of things I still want to talk about. So let me just quickly take questions. If you have anything you would like to ask, probably about the boot camp, about a less, no, maybe not a lesson. If you have a question about any lesson, I feel it's best you drop it in the lesson so that it can be well attended to. Any question from anyone before I proceed? You just raise your hand or something. All right, I'll take that as no. No one has questions. So I want to quickly talk about next steps before we call it a night. Um, yeah. So I've already talked about the community, using the community to your learning. Uh, last session, the boot camp we had on Friday. I'm sorry, the session, not the boot camp. The session we had on Friday. I showed you how you could use the language studio to actually uh, help your learning. I can't do that today. So for those of you that missed that session, when you watch the recording, you will see it there. The different applications that exist in the studio that can really help your French. So I'm saying, even if you have no one to practice with, the language studio alone is enough to give you enough companion or companionship. Oh, someone is asking a question. This session is last class, right? For the certificate, how would it be done? I already explained this, so maybe you joined late. So I said the certificates will be awarded when by, let's say, next week. You know, we are in a new week already, where some people say we are not. If we are in a new week already, that will be next week. If you are not already in a new week, if it is starting tomorrow, that will be okay. If we are not in a new week, that will be 2 weeks. So there will be 5 lessons this coming week, or this week that we are about to start: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then we are going to give Saturday and Sunday just for people who have backlogs, so you could clear your backlogs. Then the following Monday, we'll start to review your assessments and your participation ratio. Did you really participate? Did you not? Are you eligible to get a certificate? So if you are eligible to get a certificate, definitely from that Monday you could check your mail. We'll send the certificate. Once you award you a certificate, you are going to receive a mail saying that you've been awarded the certificate, and you could download the certificate right from your mail, and you could also see it in your profile. I already talked about that earlier on. So you see it under your profile. But if you don't have an account yet with us, you are only going to get a mail. You could download it from your mail. It's not going to be under any profile because you don't have any profile. But I want to believe that there shouldn't be anyone that should not have an account on our application. So I hope I answered your question. Chidera, please, did I answer your question? Thank you. So I was talking about, I've talked about the community, I've talked about the language studio, right? If you don't understand what language studio is, just watch the last session. You will see I did a demo, about 10 to 15 minutes demo of how you could use language studio and what it can do. So yeah. So there's also a new feature that we are working on to put in our studio, which is call it your what name can I give to that thing? Your conversational body. Let me put it like that. It's more of you having a companion that you can learn with, that you can practice real conversations with, leveraging on AI. You could just, I mean, it should sound like you are talking to a real person. Hi, how are you? I'm fine. What did you do today? Blah blah blah. It corrects your grammar. It corrects your pronunciation. It gives you real time feedback. Oh, this is not how to say this. I mean, not just text, but audio, like voice chats, something like that. But that's still in the works. When it is out, definitely if you're in our community, you get to know. So there's also the blog part that you can leverage on. I've showed this in the past, but just for the sake of people who, for one reason or the other, have missed sessions and I'm not able to watch these videos. We have a blog where we drop articles every week. If you are curious, we drop articles on Tuesdays every week. So we've dropped 3 articles so far. This week we should drop another one. Sometimes we can drop more than one. But for now, the minimum you can expect every Tuesday is an article. So an article will be dropped every week. I'm going to even drop an article about what I taught on Friday about because I feel like that is very, very, very important. If you understand that, I feel like you have solved like 20% of your entire French problem. It will really, really help you it will go a long way in helping you in your French journey. I'm going to probably write an article around it and drop. So, but what I'm saying is that you can watch out for articles every week, read blogs, read articles. It helps to fill some gaps that maybe you don't even know exists. It just helps you. I feel like if you read a lot, there are a lot of issues that you would not have, and there are also a lot of problems that you have that one way or the other will just be solved even without you knowing that something is being catered for in your knowledge. So those are things that you could use to enhance to really, really give your French journey a boost. And I hope that you guys have, I mean, for those of you, is there anyone on this call who attended all the live sessions, like the 4? You did not miss anyone? Just maybe signify, raise your hand. Okay. You attended 3 out of 4. Let me see your hand. Okay. Oh, thank you. Onyekonsola and Nafisat. Yeah, Nafisat. Okay, thank you. You attended 2. You are only able to attend 2. I'm not saying you watched it. I'm saying you were there in the session. Okay, you attended 1. Well, if this is your first session, it counts. So that's 1. So people are sitting on the fence. Example, Adelu is sitting on the fence. He did not use his hand for anyone. So I'm wondering, it can't be 0 because you are here. Anyway, maybe some people are already sleeping. So that will be the end of our live session for this bootcamp. I will urge you to keep up with your lessons. Communications will still happen on the group. Once a lesson drops, I'll put it on the group that this lesson has dropped. Kindly follow up. Once I put up our recorded session for tonight and Friday session, I'll also notify you guys on the group. So I want you to stay motivated, and keep up the energy. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask anywhere. You could ask in community. You could send us a message on the WhatsApp group. Anything works. Just ensure that you clear up your doubts and you seek clarification if you need any. And if you would like us to have maybe a cohort 2 of this bootcamp, maybe sometimes in the future, could you signify? Maybe just react. No, no react. You can raise your hand. I'm not saying that we'll repeat the same thing. I'm saying we'll maybe take it a step further, maybe learn more things beyond the scope of what we are learning in this bootcamp. All right. So yeah, we'll see how we can work around that, and then final thing before we all disappear, I would like that if you are not already following us on our socials, I feel like at this point it's very very important. We have a YouTube channel, which that's not a news, everybody knows. We have other social media accounts. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, we have what other one? We have Facebook. We have a Facebook page also. We also have a Twitter account. So if you are not following us on our socials, please and please and please try to follow us on our socials. If you see our posts, engage with our posts, like, comments. You don't need to have a question to make a comment. I don't know if it's a Nigerian thing, but I mean it's fine. You could just, if the post blessed you, why not just say, I like this post, I enjoyed it. If you did not, put it there. I don't like this content. In fact, it affected me negatively. Just a feedback is always very important. It helps people to internalize and maybe make things better. So thank you all for joining us for this last session, and at least for joining us so far. We appreciate everyone on this call, and we will try to keep communications uptight. So I wish you a wonderful rest of the night. Bye bye.